On the topic, Zainab, to be fair, on the topic of social media, we have a tweet from Activate Bahrain saying, it's important to note, though, that Bahrain never shut down Twitter or Facebook or BlackBerry during any phase of the unrest, unlike some of its Arab neighbors. And then we even have this tweet from a Naif saying, in Bahrain, they're called, quote, peaceful protesters. In London, they were called rioters, in the UK riots we saw last week. Can you spot the difference? So maybe to you, what was the role of social media used in terms of identifying protesters, and what was that willing to do?
Well, the Bahraini government, unlike other governments, instead of trying to close down the Facebook or Twitter, what they did is pay a lot of people, which we call trolls now, to be on those on Twitter and on Facebook and try to, first of all, harass any activists who are pro-democracy by swearing, by threatening them, and then also try to spread lies about the movement in Bahrain and what is in fact happening in Bahrain. So they just had a different method of trying to crush activists who were online. As for the London rioters, actually, it's really interesting to see the difference between the peaceful protesters in Bahrain and the London rioters. We can judge what's happening in Bahrain by how the protesters were in the beginning of the movement on February 14 and on the roundabout, how peaceful they were, how the protesters were painting, were singing, were writing poetry about the movement. The violence started when the government, like the cowards that they are, attacked peaceful protesters in the middle of the night while they were sleeping.
Now,
the violence has come from the Al Khalifa regime, not from the protesters, unlike the situation in London.